we're the only community that dresses loud, talks loud for acceptance from others that don't want us. Kanye West is a prime example of it.
Wow.
But why is that the end goal?
Yeah.
The Balenciaga, Versace, and I was wearing Versace and Prada in college.
Yeah.
I went through my super consumer phase, but why is the pinnacle of black success to put Italian and other family names on our chest?
100%, yeah.
But we as creatives and we as black people will say, well, we don't know. Because we don't know how to break down a 10K report. We are buying everything that we should be investing in.
Yeah, and does that now come back to work, right? Because if you don't think you're worthy, then you're setting the trends, and you're not even realizing that for years. I mean, you talking about stocks, but this happens in television. They use us in television. They use us in movies. They use us in everything to figure, to get ahead.
As a test.
And then we don't, as a test, and then we don't have that work.
But any business that you're in, and I talked to Kyrie about this regarding me, and I'll take his stuff out of it. He was like, yo, you have to find a way to disrupt the system while helping it. Otherwise, they're going to try and destroy your career.
Right, yeah.
Inflation is going up. In the black community, I really think inflation has went up 50% in 1 year.
Wow.
But we're still buying,
right?
But we're not profiting from the next release of Jordans. There's nothing wrong with working because most people who work make more than most entrepreneurs.
100%.
The average entrepreneur only makes $28,000 a year.
100%.
My job is to make investing as easy as breathing.
Hey, wait. I know you want to watch this next video, but listen, if you are an entrepreneur, business coach, business consultant, or a small business owner who has a story and wants to learn how to create multiple streams of income from your story, I need you to text me right now, my book, to 646-687-4152. That is my personal number. I have been an author for over 12 years. I've written 10 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers, and I've sold over 100,000 books. But I've also helped a lot of my clients take their expertise and put it into a story, then create multiple streams of income from that. So I want to help you do the same thing. So text my book to 646-687-4152. All right, let's go back to the video. All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet.
Yes, let's go.
So in order to make sure that you're building wealth, I had to bring in the greatest investor of our generation, my guy, Ian Dunlap is in the building. What's up, brother?
Man, I appreciate you. Love the energy.
Oh, man.
Shout out to the whole team here. I love the set, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
This is a work of art.
Appreciate you, man. So this is a long overdue episode. I want everybody to pay attention because where we come from, growing up, specifically in our community, they tell us that we have to work hard and save our money in order to build wealth. We all know that's an absolute lie. There is no way you could build wealth without investing. And so if this show is about changing money mindset to help everyday people become millionaires, then why wouldn't I get the greatest investor of our generation in the building? But
I appreciate that.
Before we start, for those who don't know, who is Ian Dunlap?
Xander's dad, first and foremost. Come from East Chicago, Indiana. Didn't know about investing. Family was into entrepreneurship early, the black market side and real estate side. And I just took those lessons and began to share. Like, I'm really just sharing what I wish I learned in church and growing up. Because, we'll go to church, praise, and then Monday be like, damn, it's still messed up here.
100%.
Right? So I'm just really just sharing what I wish I knew growing up more than anything.
And what, talk a little bit about how did you get to the space of being able to predict helping people make so much money, right? Because it's something magical. If somebody hasn't seen you live, it's something magical when you get on that stage. I mean, first and foremost, I appreciate you because of your passion.
Thank you.
I'm an equally passionate guy.
Yeah, your passion way higher than
you know what I'm saying? So I'm passionate. And so when I see you get on that stage and how much you really care, like you're not doing this for the money, like you really care, you really want to help people, and to see you ask, yo, if I made some money for you, right?
And they go crazy.
Yeah. It's like to witness that is magnificent. So, where did you get that skill set from to be able to accurately predict the markets the way you do?
Time in the market. I know people want a sexy answer.
Yeah.
But 12 hours a day, every day. So when 2008 happened, I was not prepared. One of my friends, Art, I've told the story before, but he told me he worked at JP Morgan. He was about to leave. Everyone that he knew that worked at JP Morgan at the time sold everything. So cars, clothes, furniture, and I'm like, damn, if they work there and it's gonna be this bad, I need to warn my family. He told me what to invest in, called me a few months later, was like, hey, I'm about to get out. It's time for you to liquidate. And I was like, liquid what?
Yeah.
It's like, time to get out. And I'm like, see, what had happened was I took Bianca on a date instead of investing in the stocks, and then Bianca going, and so it was the opportunity.
Yeah.
Art was able to retire off that investment in 2008, and it's still in 2022. It's still retired off after that.
Wow.
So I was like, I had my little Trey Boys in the Hood moment. Little tear came down my eye, right? I was punching air. And I'm like, I'll never miss another opportunity to be able to know what to invest in this market. So I treated it like a sport. Most people, even, this, inside the industry, a lot of people treat it like a hobby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me treat this like a sport, same way Kobe would. And I just started looking at the market 12 hours a day until I found my system, and now I'm able to give it to people freely. But that's 13, 14 years worth of work every day.
Wow.
Put in time.
And one of the things that I was, like I'm impressed by all of the people who lives you've been able to change. But there was specifically, group of guys from Red Hook, Brooklyn.
Hey, shout out to the squad.
The G's, they, you know what I'm saying? They look scary. You know what I'm saying? But you were able to make them money, and so I think that's the thing. It's everyday people. You don't have to be, what they call a sophisticated investor to take this knowledge. And so a lot of times we hear, stocks, bonds, invest in that.
Yeah.
But you have a different approach, right? You are favorable to futures versus stocks. Why is that?
Futures pay a lot more. So on the trading side, imagine if I said you can buy this stock and you can make $1, or you can make this one and it'll pay you $31.25. Now the answer is to do everything.
Yeah.
Got to invest long term first. So the brothers I helped in Brooklyn in about 18 months, they're up 200 grand.
Wow.
Off 30 grand.
Wow.
So number one, please invest long term. Pick 4. I like Apple, Microsoft, VOO, which is an index fund. It's like a basket of all the best companies, an all-star team, and VTI. But when you get to trading, futures pay a hell of a lot more. So when you, let's say.
What's futures for those who may not know?
You're just predicting the future price of what the asset is going to be.
Gotcha.
So do you think this year, Katie will average 25 points or more?
Okay.
If you think yes, then you will go long. If you think it'll be no, you will short the market and make money as that market is falling.
Got it.
So if you have 33 contracts, and let's say you do 500 points, there, even last week I had a member of my program made $22,500 in a 4-hour period.
Wow.
So those kind of numbers to be able to hit when the market is falling. The truth is and you know this, when the market is falling, it is the best time if you are a trader to make the most amount of money.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? So I want to talk about that, right? Because I feel like the stock market is the only place when it's on sale, people run away, right?
Yeah.
Macy's, Neiman Marcus, if they have a sale, people are running to the store to buy. The stock market has a sale, meaning prices are low. Everybody's like, I don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Why is that? What is the mindset that you have to have in order to be a successful
You want the
investor?
truth?
Give me the truth, baby.
Because men can't get women from investing long term.
Oh.
So you can go get Balenciaga, Gucci, Versace.
Wait, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that question.
If you go to human psychology, we gravitate to the things that are going to give us the reward the fastest.
Wow.
So if I can go get a Maybach truck, Bentley truck, I may be able to go to the east side and pick up 4 or 5 something that I couldn't get 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Also, too, I really believe that when you have children with people you don't love, you don't want to invest in their future. So why would I sacrifice 10 years, 15 years for you to be wealthy when I hate who I even had the child with?
Wow.
That's a conversation we have to start having in our community.
Wow.
And fellas, don't come for me. I'm not on my Derek Jackson. not caping. But we want to show our wealth. Because truth is, like, we are emotionally broken. Like, we're the only community that dresses loud, talks loud for acceptance from others that don't want us. Kanye West is a prime example of it.
Wow. Yeah.
So when he wears the White Lives Matters, but the week before, I'm getting robbed by Adidas.
Right. Facts.
I'm like, fam, you signed that paperwork.
Facts. Yeah.
You go back to 03. He's been signing those rights and publishing over forever while not elevating Rhyme Fest, while not elevating Bump J, while not, if we want to be honest, even with Virgil, he wasn't happy with Virgil's success.
Yeah.
The last 2 years.
Yeah.
Those who know. Shout out to Kanye and the whole team. I don't want no issues.
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, we don't want to invest for the long term.
Yeah.
Lastly, because we don't think that we're going to be around long enough to see the fruits of that labor.
Wow.
Sacrifice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I always have everyone in the beginning of every show that I do say, I am worthy.
Yeah.
I deserve to be rich. I deserve to be happy, because we have to program. Other cultures feel that from day one. When they're born.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah. And so what is it going to take to change that mindset, specifically in our community, where we'll realize that, all right, if we're investing for the future, because you said do it all, right?
Yeah.
Invest for the future, invest in the stocks and the things that can bring you that passive income, early. So potentially, right, abundance is your birthright.
Yep.
You could have the Balenciagas and still have the things that they want. Plus,
But why is that the end goal?
yeah.
The Balenciaga, Versace. And I was wearing Versace and Prada in college.
Yeah.
I went through my super consumer phase, but why is the pinnacle of black success to put Italian and other family names on our chest? So I don't think that should be the end goal, because they're black luxury brands, but just to have a certain level of success, what is it going to take? Conversations like this.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing an important part, you're doing an important part,
Yeah.
Trap is, EYL is.
Yeah.
But even in the music, it's changing. Like, artists that are 22, 25 are not talking about equity,
Yep.
talking about royalty splits on the back end,
Yep.
when they're not being taken care of. So I think we are now at a point where people really know that you have to have freedom. And especially in this recession, you could have denied it the last 2 years, but when like inflation goes up 150% in Turkey, and then here it's like, really, if you're in the hood, the interest rate really went up like 45% on you. You have to be able to make money on demand and make money for the future. Because look how much different your life would have been and everybody in here lives would have been if somebody was able to sacrifice 100 years for us, how much more money we have.
100%.
So yeah, but I think it's changing now.
Yeah, and I agree, and that's why this movement is definitely a movement. Like, when you think about the civil rights era, this is that era where we finally get the silver rights, right?
Yeah.
The equity that we deserve. And so, what is the biggest mistake you believe that people make when investing?
Saying that they don't know what to invest in. I can ask every woman in here, what's the number one electronic vehicle brand? Like, honestly, in any black community, if you want to know what the hot stock is, go to your mama, your auntie, your cousin, and ask them what's the hottest thing. They set culture.
Wow.
So, great, what's the number one shoe company? Everyone knows is Nike. What's the number one technology company? Apple. Even if you go to Sephora, or do you like OPI versus Kylie's makeup brand? Women have all the answers anyway.
Yeah.
But we as creatives and we as black people will say, well, we don't know. Because we don't know how to break down a 10K report. We are buying everything that we should be investing in.
Yeah, and does that now come back to work, right? Because if you don't think you're worthy, then you're setting the trends, and you're not even realizing that for years. I mean, you talking about stocks, but this happens in television. They use us in television. They use us in movies. They use us in everything to figure, to get ahead.
As a test.
And then we don't, as a test. And then we don't have that worth. So I think it also comes back to that worthiness that you mentioned.
I want to ask you, what do you think is going to take for us to feel worthy to negotiate better? Because even in the entertainment and podcasting space, I'm seeing talent getting used.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I'm having meetings and I'm like, hey, if I'm paying for everything, give me an executive's contract. They're like, I don't know how to place you. But it's because everybody who may come behind, they're like, well, I'll take the talent deal.
Right.
I don't know, people on reality shows make $2 to $5 grand an episode.
Yeah.
There's no money.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at Mona for the finesse, but it's like, if a show is netting you $100 million in 5 years, why are you taking $2,500 to $2,000?
Yeah.
So what do you think it's going to take for us to...
Knowledge yourself.
Gotcha.
I think that what happens is so a couple of two things. I think it's knowledge of self. We have to understand like that we're worthy.
Yeah.
We have to understand who we are. We have to understand, that's why I always wear this on my back, that abundance is our birthright. If you walk in to a situation and you believe that somebody's doing you a favor, then you'll take anything that they give you.
That's true.
But if you walk into a building and like, all right, cool. Like, I mean, I've been at this for a decade.
Yeah.
And I've had opportunities, but nah, you're not going not because I know you're not going to use me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, pay me in equity. And if that's not the case, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm here.
Is that why you decided to build your own?
100%.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Because what happens is this, right? When you get to a space where you're relying on somebody else who can't even do what you do, who doesn't have the foresight, all they're doing is fronting you something that like if you owned your own, you could do yourself anyway. Then what's the point of giving up that equity? So I think it's really a couple of things. Is first knowing who you are, knowing your worth, being willing to say, yo, I'm not gonna compromise. But then also again, which also goes into worthiness, is not falling for the lights.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about this. The reason why a rapper will take a bum deal that they know is killing them is because they want to be popular.
Yeah.
Our community cares more about popularity more than money.
It goes back to being broken.
Right.
Because if you aren't valued in the household, like think of the kids that grew up without a mother or father.
Yeah.
And then the world lifts you up and gives you the praise that you actually wanted and deserve.
Yeah.
You're going to gravitate towards that. And I tell all talent all the time, I'm like, I know the business part is not fun.
Yeah.
But without it, how many more TLC got robbed stories, Kanye got robbed stories are we going to go through?
Exactly.
A lot of it is just because we have not equipped ourselves with the right information. And then at mass, the entire community has it. So when we go to a label, go to Spotify, go to Apple, we're now saying, hey, I need equity or at least royalty in perpetuity.
Yep.
With no dilution.
Yep.
Now, if everyone does that, then what does NBA YoungBoy deal look like? What does Dirk's deal look like in comparison?
And that's the point, right? So to that point, it requires mass cooperation, right? It requires and right. I mean, we see it slowly happening, but it requires for a mass cooperation of our community to say no to these type of deals.
Yeah.
And then also being willing to call out the bad deals though.
Yeah. Right?
Because what I notice in our community is that we're afraid to call out the BS. So like we'll see it, but because we're broken, we're not trying to break.
Yeah. And
so we see somebody going into a nasty pit or being taken advantage of, we're not going to call it out, right? We're going to play nice.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it sometimes too, right?
In what way?
Politics. Meaning where I'll see, somebody doing something that I'm like, man, that's not the right thing to do from
Can
a
you give an
business
example?
perspective. No, I think like prime example, right? Like if you say reality TV stars, for instance, right? Like I have relationships with reality stars that do take these $2,000, $5,000 deals, and in my mind, I'm like, that don't make no sense because you are the show. So why would you accept that? But on the flip side, what happens in our community is they're like, well, if I don't take this deal, then I won't get the light. If I don't get the light, then I can't. I won't get this opportunity. I can't really build, my business, right? The side money that I'll get from the business. So it's in certain cases, it's a give and take. But I think that when we understand that we are, especially as content creators, when we understand that we are the culture and we got the money. So why can't we put our money together, right? And say, you know what, man, we got the money. Let's create. Let's not try to be.
You know why though?
Why is that? Tell me.
Because somebody has to be top dog, and that goes back to the women. Yeah. You notice all the women in here. Every time I say something that regarding men, they're not saying I'm wrong, because they feel it. Yeah. So if we get brothers that are solid, full of integrity to come together, then we got to push. But I always said back home, I hated when people told people that I knew that was in the streets to get off and you had no alternative for them.
Right, facts, yeah.
Showed them how to make money.
100%.
That's why like I do everything that I can to give for free.
Yeah.
And then when I'm talking to people that are in the streets, my first conversation is how much you need right now to get rid of it for me to teach you.
Yeah.
Because the financial literacy, that shit sounds good.
Yeah.
But when you have 3 kids and you have to provide,
Yeah.
you don't have time to hear.
Do you think that word is overrated? Financial literacy?
I think it's the worst term ever. Because you can be financially literate and still don't execute and still don't know. Even for me, back in 2009, 10, 11, 12, I couldn't get 15 black people to talk investing if I paid them to sit and listen.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden there's a movement behind it and it's a lot of people that are trying to pillage.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people are sent here by some of those same labels, agencies, to throw off. 2020,
Yeah.
for the first time in history,
Yeah.
well, since let's say like 1920, we got into investing, crypto, real estate, stocks, flipping cars, flipping shoes, and in 3 months, they destroyed every market at one time. You think that's by accident? And we're being braggadocious on IG.
Right.
I ain't going back to work.
Right.
I'm on FaceTime cussing my boss out. I ain't coming back.
Right.
No, they're like, no, we're going to find a way to bring you back to work. And now let's increase regulation. Let's drop the crypto market. Let's drop the stock market. And they know if we get hurt financially in a market, we won't come back for 10 to 12 years.
Wow.
So I want to be very mindful of the word literacy, and I think people need blueprints that actually work. That's why I always say, if I made you money, put yes in chat. You can't fake that. You can't fake 4,000, 12,000 people saying that. People want, and the number one reason I think people don't take more action, because even in school, when I was in school, I was like, okay, great, I learned this, and what's the outcome?
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's not money or freedom attached to it, for what?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are trying to re-educate in the way that we learned in school. And people are asking the same thing. If I learn this, what am I going to get?
Yeah, yeah.
And if it's not money, freedom, maybe a little Balenciaga, you know what I mean? Being able to provide for your kids, for what?
Yeah.
I think it's a cute buzzword for right now.
Yeah. And so let's go back to what you said, right, about the coincidence of the markets going down, right? How do we infiltrate, right? Without the vulnerability of, being able to, what we've built be able to be taken down. Like, how do we get to a space where we get the wealth and then we play in a game that doesn't allow our long-term wealth to be controlled by the powers that be?
Number one, anytime, if the truth is, if you want to be led into a game and you want to make a lot of money from it, you always have to tell the powers to be how they're going to benefit or profit from it. Yeah. Because, like, let's say, for example, if Jay-Z puts me on and he opens me up to everybody in Rock Nation in the entire world, if my next move is to do what Game did to 50 Cent, why even let me in the building? So the conversations that I'm having now with hedge funds is, okay, I want to liberate our people. I want them to get into hedge funds. But here's how much we will make you, and can we get 49% of that to not get our hair cut off?
Right. Got it.
You can't take over an institution like banking.
I hope y'all didn't miss that. That's good. Yeah.
You can't take over, like, if we go straight to cartel, you can't go to the cartel and say, let me get your product, now I'm gonna take over your territory.
Facts. Yeah.
That's a declaration of war.
100%.
So even when people in crypto were like, well, crypto is gonna take over banking.
Right.
Banking said, okay, that's cute.
Let
me buy all the fucking crypto then. Because where I'm from, the ones you have to worry about, they didn't announce what they was going to do.
100%.
They just got to it.
Yeah.
100%. And then all the shell cases was left around.
100%.
Damn, why little they do that?
Yeah.
Right? The ones who are screaming it, you have to be worried about them because those are the ones who are trying to hype themselves into something. But any business that you're in, and I talked to Kyrie about this regarding me, and I'll take his stuff out of it. He was like, yo, you have to find a way to disrupt the system while helping it. Otherwise, they're going to try and destroy your career.
Right, yeah.
So if our plan is to all of us to be free, we still have to pay that toll road fee to them. And that's the truth. And some people in the comments may hate it.
Right.
But this is actually how the game is played.
Right.
I can't come in your house and say, after this interview, I'm doing Inside the Vault with Ian.
Right.
Everybody over here be like, what you think? You're not
I'm just not going to drop the episode. You know what I'm saying?
See? So how you think Spotify and Apple feel in Bloomberg and the hedge funds and JP Morgan, Binance feels like, no, we have to find a way to pay them enough for protection and check in with them while we get our money. And
the spook who sat by the door, right?
The game is the same.
The game is the same. The game is the same. And I love that perspective because I've never really kind of thought it from that perspective. And it's true, right? Like in our community, this is a war. This is an economic war.
Absolutely.
And you know, even if I take it back to like spades, you never play spades and show your hand.
You can't.
If you got a Boston and you
still don't show.
Why would you show it?
Makes no sense. And the truth is, when we talking freedom, we don't want to go back to Africa en masse and build infrastructure there and build piping. Like certain things are a pipe dream. I want us to have a plan that we can execute and actually become free from. Because if we get even 1,000 black people in the room here in Atlanta, we can come up with enough ideas for the next 100 years for every industry on earth in 2 hours.
100%. Yeah.
As long as no one has ego and like, well, I have to be the top dog.
Right.
Over it. We can get that done really fast.
Right.
But this is a game that we have to play in order to be able to win.
And how do we get rid of ego though? Right. Like, I mean, we see it in our space, right? We see it where, you know, we have enough resources, we have enough eyes on us that if we came collectively, like I love the play where you said, listen, let's go to those in power and say, hey, this is what we can bring you, right? And so if, you know, I mean, easily, we got a billion eyes, right? And so if collectively we say, yo, we got a billion eyes, you know, that would move us faster in the right direction. But like you said, that there's ego in play where there's unity, but there's still separation. There's still competition. There's still.
You want to talk about it? We're going.
Let's talk. Go
ahead. I think number one, men with integrity have to get together and do more because it seems like the suckers end up doing more. So the scam, like I'll see it all the time. Somebody be like, hey, a fake page of yours messaged me, asked me to send you 15,000 in Bitcoin. I sent it. I realized it wasn't you. Can I get my money back from you? And I'm like, damn, I gotta outwork the scammers. I've legit asked those like farm pages, like, yo, can I hire you to do like legit marketing for me? Because y'all work nonstop. Men with integrity have to do more and collaborate more. Then we have to execute faster. Because the scammers don't care. They're launching quick. And then number three, we have to have a vision so big, but everyone has to know how they're gonna profit. Financial liberation sounds good. But if everyone in the room, if we get $200 million and everyone doesn't know what their split is going to be, they're going to be like, man, fuck that. I'm going to work on what I'm working on. I don't think people map out the vision enough to say, here's the plan, here's the viewership, here's the result, here's 200 million, here's how you're going to get paid, and have you done good business before?
100%.
And actually broke that down.
No, and that's 100% true because I think that in most situations like you know, like I said, I've been in this space for like a decade, and a lot of times, you know, I'll get into a partnership with someone, and I think like for me, I've been masterful in allowing people to think I don't know, right? Because I was a CEO of a credit union. So
why do you do that though?
Because I don't show my hand, right? Because for me, like I'm from the hood. I'm from 129th Street and 8th Avenue. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm from the projects. And so I was raised by gangsters though. Not like people who just shoot. I'm talking about like gangsters. And I want to know, like I want to know if you going like I'm gonna act like you could take advantage of me. And I want to see, will you take advantage of me? Cuz I already know my power. I know who I am. I've, you know, as a CEO of a credit union, I've done mergers and acquisitions with billion-dollar white folks. So I could talk the talk. I could go, and that's the beauty of how I play. I could go to any corner in America and be fine. And put me in any boardroom, excluding nobody. Put me in any boardroom, and I could talk that talk. But I like to see, right? Because I feel like I like to see. Are you a person of integrity? If I give you, if I leave $100 on the floor, are you gonna step on $100 or are you gonna give it to me, right? So like fat shout out to my brother Storm, fat shout out to Marvin. Like that's how we got together, Path to Prosperity. Right? I'll give you a quick example. You know, obviously Inside the Vault is a powerful show. And so, you know, I've been able to help people with their careers, right? People who may have not known people or whatever the case may be.
You help elevate them.
Help elevate them. Behind the scenes, I gave them game. I made them a lot of money. There's some people who didn't come back.
Were they people of non-integrity?
Non-integrity,
yeah.
Right? They didn't come, and I ain't even want you to. I'm good. I don't even want what you got. But acknowledge it. Say, yo, Ash, I appreciate you. Or Ash, yo, look what happened. Like these people didn't come back.
But that's like expecting Tekashi to operate with the same principles of 50.
100%.
They're two different
100%
beings, and that's one thing I had to learn too.
Yeah.
Everyone isn't going to operate the same way that we do.
Exactly. And I think that's the beauty though of operating in a way of not showing your hand, right? Allowing people to do what they would naturally do. Like if you think, you know, like Marvin, before we even connected, made him some money.
Yeah.
And he circled back like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm good. He like, no, bro,
Yeah.
send me your account number. Let me wire this money to you because
Marv does good business.
Right? And I'm saying
Always,
if it wasn't for you, same thing with Storm. Like I remember getting on a call with him, and this had to be a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Go check out his episode if you have.
Oh man,
and it did
fire,
numbers too, but
fire.
fire.
I mean, #1 as of this recording, and really, you know what I'm saying, he was getting money off of information I gave him and would just randomly cash at me and send me bread. It's not about the money though, because I didn't need the money at the time, but it's about the integrity. And there's other examples of that, and I think that's where we are, right? And I think eventually though we'll get to that space where where the suckers won't have a place to hide. You know what I'm saying?
But if we don't, for those of us that have integrity, if we don't talk about our greatness, are we not making room for the suckers to exist?
No, we have to talk about our greatness though. We have to.
to.
We have to. And the reason we have to, and you know, I've been guilty of it.
Yeah, me too.
Where man, I was on television in 2011. Like I've done stuff before, but I never, you know, talked about those things. I never talked about my accomplishments. But of late, I've been more vocal, right?
Yeah.
For that reason.
Yeah.
Because if you don't talk about your success, if you don't get to that space where you're checking the suckers, right? If you allow them to,
or even just outworking them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you allow them to work harder than you, to, you know, get more, you know, accolades than you, and when I say accolades, not in a competitive way, but you getting busy, but here I'm getting busy as well. You have to be able to do that because at the end of the day, if nobody knows you and they don't know what you do, then they won't, you know, be able to. Yeah, you know. So I think we're getting to that space, you know, where eventually, as we continue to talk our ish, you know, as we start pushing ourselves up, as we start showing that we get results, and that's what I love about you is your ability to get results. Like you said, you cannot fake it, right?
That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Everybody
and so
can talk.
you're always right though. You haven't been wrong. In fact, IG needs to officially call that crystal ball the Ian Dunlap Red Panda icon. Talk about that crystal ball, man.
It's just all the combination of hard work that I've done. Like I treat it like a sport.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when I watch other shows when I was getting into investing, it was a debate on should we invest in Qualcomm or Research in Motion, which everybody knew from BlackBerry, or is LVMH great or Macy's? There was never a clear answer and hey, buy at this price point. Yeah. So when I started doing the show, I'm like, if I give out the prices where to get in, where I'm looking to get in, and the people can make the money, because everyone is like, when's the hedge fund coming? I'm like, if I've helped hundreds of thousands of people make money for free, that is a hedge fund. Right. Already. So it's just the time in the market, and I know people don't like to hear it. And even when I was starting, like when I wasn't seeing traction as fast as I wanted to, I hated it. But when you're able to get the result, no one on earth can fuck with you. Right, 100%. Like if you can give a person advice and they take $1 and turn it into 2 and 2 into 8, you'll have them for life. So I think we need to push more, and that's why I do the put yes in chat if I made you money. Even the title master investor, like me, I was at Josh Brown's event, Huntington Beach. It's all white people, and then here come us. I only love people of hue.
Yeah.
Got the shit on my back. And people were looking like, who is he to think that? But even from that perspective, like I had to market that because there would be people who would say that they were great that I know that were scamming people. So if we're not protecting the people and giving them the option of, no, this is the guy to go to.
Right.
We're just as bad as the people that are finessing out in the community. So the crystal ball is just me like putting in thousands of hours into the market to be able to know like the back of my hand and to turn around and give it to the people for free.
And so how does one time the market?
It takes a lot of practice, man, but I'll say this, and I said it at InvestFest, everyone is a trader and investor. If you work, you are trading time for money. If you're an entrepreneur, you're trading time for money. You're looking at return on content, return on time, but you have to go study the price of every company that you're looking at. So I asked every creative on earth, what's the #1 podcasting app in the world? Everyone says Apple.
Apple, yep.
Why are you not investing in Apple if you have a podcast, any creative content, have the phone, right? Because in the beginning, before Apple was popular, they made all their money off creatives, but never found a way to give that money directly back into the community. So time in the market, #1, study the companies that you love, pick 4, and study the prices for the last 20 years. How far have they fallen? So if a company on average drops 50%, in 5 years, how much will they go up? And we do it with J's all the time. We do it with the Panda Dunks. Will anybody in the room pay $900 for these? No. Would you pay $88 for those if they're legit? That's a support level or a long-term buy level. And there's a certain point where you wouldn't buy stuff. I hate when we say we don't know. And everybody's in here looking good, dressed up. No one has any knockoff, anything that is not stylish, right? We, as buyers, we know the prices of all companies to invest in. So it's just literally putting time into it, and opposed to being a consumer or a fiend for the product, we become the ones that reap the rewards from it.
Yeah, and I love that. And so, if I hear you correctly, it's really, it starts with the knowledge, the awareness first and foremost. But then once you have that awareness, you have to create that plan. Have to budget, right? You have to budget for.
You got to spend 4 hours in the market every day. Because if, let's say hypothetically, just on the content side, and I think they should, but what if Apple buys Blackmagic? Then they raise the price because they want to put it into AR because they hate Meta. So as a result, to get AR and VR more popular, they're going to combine the glasses with DJI and Blackmagic to destroy Meta. Now the cameras cost $4,000 instead. What do? Are we going to sit on the sidelines and be like, damn, that's messed up? Inflation is going up. In the black community, I really think inflation has went up 50% in 1 year. But we're still buying, but we're not profiting from the next release of Jordans, next release of LVMH, next release of Balenciaga. So I want us to go from being fiends and just buying to also learning how to make money off of these companies. Like when you invest in Apple, Microsoft, LVMH, Microsoft, you have the best CEOs on earth ever working for you to pay you.
Because you own the company now.
That's a powerful feeling. And no one moves product, sales, culture like us. We just don't monetize. And so, how does someone who has a 9-to-5, right? Because a lot of people who watch the show, currently work, but they may not feel like they have time to, to trade and invest, or even if they're working from home, how can somebody who works a 9-to-5? And the first thing I want to say, there's nothing wrong with working because most people who work make more than most entrepreneurs.
100%.
The average entrepreneur only makes $28,000 a year.
100%.
Despite what you see on IG and TikTok, right? So that first hour, once you're back home, just choose to study 1 hour a day. I do a show called Market Mondays, where I give everything for free on where to invest long term. But on the trading side, even if you trade for 1 hour and learn the skill set, of course, it may take you 120 days to be good. But it's an amazing feeling to be able to say, I know the bond market is going to drop. I short it, and as a result, I make $15,000 in a day. Right? Shout out to my guy P. He's with me in Red Panda, and shout out to the Rebellion. One of the best traders I've ever met. He's going to be shy and say he don't make no money. You hear the giggle? So to be able to make $3 grand, $5 grand, $7 grand, $30 grand in a day, is that not worth 1 hour a day? A lot of us didn't get a chance to make it to the NBA or NFL or get a deal. But you can get the same kind of money here trading as you can in those fields or even more. And the funny thing, we were sitting down with Kyrie this past summer. He was like, no, my dad was a bond trader on Wall Street. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So even how he thinks about the world, his viewpoint is different because of those experiences. And I would say if you do not, as a creator, if you do not know how to invest and trade, you are going to get robbed and raped your entire career because what leverage do you have?
Right.
So if you can't go to Paramount, HBO and say, I want this,
Yep.
or I'm going to do this as an alternative,
Yep.
what leverage do you have?
Yeah.
If none, you're going to get the worst deal possible.
Yeah.
So if you truly want to be free, and Elon, Jack Ma, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all the greatest CEOs, everyone in PayPal Mafia, all knew how to invest and trade.
Yeah.
We're the only culture who CEOs and creators don't know how to trade as a part of the craft. Elon just set the price for where he wants to buy Twitter, based off of him knowing how to invest and trade.
Yeah.
It's the number one skill set. And think of it like this. When you are able to invest and trade, you are tied directly into the plug of money.
Yeah.
To be able to make money out of thin air and not need a customer-client negotiation. Nice. That's why I hate meetings. People are like, hey, can we meet? I'm like, bro, if I call them, and I'm seeing that it's going to go down in 2 months. Like I called Bitcoin to go to 20,000 when it was at 60. And everyone on earth said I was crazy.
Yeah.
And except Mike Novogratz, who's a billionaire. Live on the show was like, that's what a hedge funds are looking to buy. How did you know?
Yeah.
Then it gets to 20 and we ride it back up. Those two trades, who was at the exchange, New York Stock Exchange 2 weeks ago, I calculated with the money they're trading, that trade down and back up is like $1.5 billion. You don't think that we're not, that's one trade.
Right.
So imagine if we get all of us together the same way Lil Baby got his crew together and QC got their crew together, and we went into JP Morgan or Citadel or Trade Miles, shout out to Peter, and we traded collectively to be able to make 500, 800,000 a piece.
Yeah.
Like all how we sitting in this room, right? How powerful would that be?
Yeah.
And then to be able to bring our people in. And I'll give out this challenge. The next time I go to the exchange, I want 10,000 of us to show up. Here's why. If 10,000 of us show up, you don't think out of that 10,000 there's going to be a line of interviews?
Right.
Because everyone has some experience.
Yeah.
You may be an expert on J's. You know J's top to bottom. You may be the global research analyst for all consumer spending, right? For women, you research and know this better than anybody. You can walk into the meeting with any hedge fund, any CEO and say, here's a trend, this is where this is gonna go, here's the valuation of Skims with Kanye or with Pete or whoever she dates next, here's where Spanx is gonna go. That is worth money.
Yeah.
But they'll tell you, that stuff's boring.
Right.
We have to realize that everything that is deemed boring in our community is what makes the most money.
Yeah.
And the stuff that is the most exciting makes the least.
Yeah. Talk to me about Red Panda. The gang, the army.
Red Panda is my family, my community, where I teach people about investing. Yeah. My job is to make investing as easy as breathing. So like the same way we know everybody in here, please reply. Is the Los Angeles Lakers going to make the finals and win championship this year, yes or no? They said no. Yeah. That stock I was short. I want us to know investing like that.
Yeah.
Because we don't.
And when you say short,
short means to make money as the market is falling.
Right.
So if I think that like who's hotter, Cardi B or Ice Spice? Shout out to Ice Spice. Who's hotter?
Cardi.
If Cardi's hotter, that's Apple. I want to go long or buy Cardi. I want to short Ice Spice. I think the Munch line is cute. Yeah. Right. I don't know if she'll be around in 2 summers though. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So everything that you look at and touch at, is it going to go up or down? If it's going to go up, I want to invest in it. If it's going to go down, we can make money as it falls. A movie to watch, The Big Short, is a really good one to check out. But you can make money both ways. So when the market is falling apart, people are like, damn, I need to stay away. I'm like, no, you can make money as it's falling too, and buy Apple, Microsoft, or whatever top 4 companies there are, and hold them for the long term. Now I got a question for you. Awesome. If you can do it all over again, what would you do differently with your show? And what are like the top 3 mistakes you think people are making in podcasting?
That's a good one. So I think if I could do it all over again, I mean, I technically, you know, I'm in that process right now. I'm in a transition process where I'm doing it over. I think that when I first started podcasting, I really cared about how things looked. And so, I made sure I'm shooting this show like a television show.
That was always my
And
thought
so
too,
I
man.
had, the production crew, the look, the set, I was location based. And I increased my costs, and then didn't really focus on how I was going to make the podcast profitable.
Gotcha.
And in doing that, I limited myself to the type of guests that I could get, right? Because if you think about it, I started this show around the pandemic, where a lot of people weren't coming out, and so instead of jumping on a Zoom and getting everybody was home, I could have jumped on a Zoom, had these powerful conversations, and really given the people that I wanted this information, and my brand and the podcast would have been, we're over 3 million views, so we're doing well, but we probably would have done better.
Gotcha.
Had I not stuck to trying to be perfect and doing the things the way I wanted to do them. So starting over, number one, not being location dependent, that at any time somebody's in town, or there was so many opportunities to have some big time interviews, to get into the mindsets of different powerful people, but I didn't take advantage of those. So I think that's the biggest mistake, or what I would have done differently. I think the biggest mistake I think that podcasters and content creators do, I think really is just from a monetization perspective.
Tell me more. I agree, but
that they don't learn how to monetize their content directly. I think that a lot of people are hoping, right? Like, I'm going to start this podcast. I hope that this podcast is going to do well, and if it does well, then I'll start planning what my future looks like. Okay. Opposed to saying, all right, I'm starting this podcast. Who like creating a whole business plan, a whole SWOT analysis for your podcast. Yeah. Like, who do you talk to? Yeah. What is their demographic? How much do they get paid? What do they actually want? Let me split test my audience. Let me put out different variations of my content to see what they like, right? When I started Inside the Vault, I had a regimented way of how I was going to interview, but then I tried different things, right? Fast shout to Alex Good Energy. It was Alex's interview that I tried something different. We cried on that interview.
What did you try differently?
I started to talk. I started to get personal. I wanted to get to know who Alex was. I wanted to know his why, right? And just tapping into knowing that he almost lost his life, right? Knowing that this one mistake could have ended it all for him. Knowing the passion he had as his retiring his mom and things, right? Like we were getting so so deep into understanding who the man is, right? Which is why my first question to Ian Dunlap is, who is Ian Dunlap? Right? Because at the end of the day, people know you and they see you, but do they really know you? No, do they know your why? Do they know like what you made of, what you cut from? Right? I appreciate you because of what you do behind the scenes, not what you do on camera. Same. I see how you treat your people, bro. I know where you from. Like that matters more than anything. I don't jack none of that. Like all of the stuff you do on camera is cool. But when I'm in your energy, I see how you treat your people. That matters the most.
And there's not a lot of that going on.
There's not a lot of that going on. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, when I realized getting to know the person is more important than getting to know what the person does or how they did it. Right? Because the reason why you are where you are is because of how you move with integrity. The reason why Alex and all the other people that I can name that move with integrity, they are where winning. They are because they move with integrity. I'm not talking about temporary wins though. Right?
I say it all the time. The suckers are going to win real fast.
Oh, absolutely.
The first year, anybody who's solid, you're going to get your ass kicked. I'm just being real. Now, year 2 through 10,
that's where
the ones with integrity are going. And I think even in culture, people that do wrong and you have to be evil to prosper, that is slowly dying.
100%.
People spread, talk so fast, and that's another reason on the interview side, I think a lot of people don't show up in person. Because you can be one way on camera, but when I dap you, when I hug you, 100%. When I interact, what is it like? But how do you emanate so much passion all the time? Like, you're doing a show every morning. How the hell do you do that? You come here with a ton of energy and a good person. Teach me, what's the secret?
I wake up with gratitude for life.
Okay.
Life don't owe me nothing. I owe. I'm in arrears. You know what I'm saying? Like I owe.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? I got kicked out of school 4 times. I got expelled.
You was beating ass?
Yo, I was, it's funny because I think that if people really understood like where I come from, like I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful for life. You know, we hear about these horror stories of people who just lose their life, or people like, the other day, and my wife could attest to this, you know, we're getting our backyard redone and getting our fence redone. You know, we put the fence up during the pandemic, you know what I'm saying? So we're like, nah, we gotta get it professionally done. I called a guy who was supposed to put the gate up, and he told me, I was like, yeah, you know, I'm ready now. And he said, man, you know, I got in a bad accident. He said my leg got amputated. I was in a motorcycle accident going 140 miles an hour, got flown off of it. I don't even know how I'm alive, right? One of my legs are completely amputated, and and the other one might have. But there's no, I mean, he told me that after I'm talking to him about a transaction, putting my fence up. And so immediately, that's why I have the energy I have. That's why I have the passion, because I live a great life. Like my wife, I got an awesome wife, business partner. She bad still too. We've been together 20 years.
That's fire.
Super bad. I got 2 kids, 14 and 7. Genius babies. Right? I grew up in a project, single parent home. I'm the youngest of 3. Like, we were poor. So to be in this position, I wish I would. Act like I'm not grateful. Wish I would.
When we were growing, what year were you born?
80.
So I was born in 82. The ability to even think to do this in 95, 96.
When everybody's dying, everybody's going to jail.
This setup would have cost $1 million. Absolutely,
100%.
Back in the day. So one thing I've always loved was your enthusiasm, your passion.
Appreciate you.
Even at Invest Festival, when I was about to go on, a bunch of love after, it was a bunch of love. So that's one thing I want to herald you for. And I got to tell you, I need you to talk your shit more.
100%.
Because if not, there are people that are looking at you that won't follow me. I may not follow Trap. Especially from where because New York, every time I'm in New York, I'm like, I want to live out here.
What was
energy different. Shout out to the Bronx. Shout out Jersey City. The energy is different. But we need to see more people like you, and it's the same with Christianity. My favorite people that I've met were Christian, never asked me to go to church. My cousin Rick, life was going well, faithful, wife, great kids, great career, good looking. I'm like, bro, what you doing? He like, God. I'm like, man, I want to hear that. He like, but that's why you are where you are. I'm telling you, the God I'll serve, and I saw my cousin go from being broke, like broke, to like when we went to his funeral, they had a hot air balloon in the back of his house. I'm like, God, that's my cousin. I said, shit, if he can do it, I can do it. And my mom was like, but it's the other part you don't want to follow. So I'll say, even to see you and how you preach as well, I love to see like how you walk with morals and integrity. And express your love for God too, because we need more of that. I always say 100%. It all the time. If you are a believer in God, then how are you afraid to go into the world and be fearless when there's people I know in the streets that are headhunters that have more undying faith than those of us that believe in God?
100%.
We need that.
And you're right, because I think that's, for me, like I've always been somebody who, again, that gratefulness comes from that, right? Just understanding, like, and that's why I always wear abundance is your birthright, because, I believe, we're all, regardless of what your faith is, right? So Christianity, Islam, whatever you believe in,
all
of the Quran says it, the Bible says it, we are made in the image and likeness of the Most High God.
Yeah.
And so if God is the greatest, then we're made in that greatness. And I think that it is, for me, disrespectful to God to not be enthusiastic, to not be happy, to not applaud my brother for his success, to not, life is energy. Right? Life is energy. And so I want for my brother what I want for myself. So imagine from an energy perspective, I want somebody to embrace me. I want them to love me. So imagine if I'm like, yo, what's up? You good, bro?
Yeah. And I've had some of those. And I say too, like, life gets a lot better. And I even noticed with me, I stopped being as grumpy, frustrated, miserable when I was around people that I loved, liked, was inspired by, and they brought me joy.
Yeah.
Your energy, you can't fake.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
If everyone around you is not like that, you have to move that top 5.
Yeah.
I'm not saying get rid of your friends and your family, because that's a big mistake in our community too.
Yeah.
Like, as we level up, we have to cut off friends that we grew up with.
Yeah.
That is a strategy designed by major corporations to make us have less power.
100%, I agree.
You may not be able to talk to them as much, but one of the biggest things that has helped me is being around people that truly fucks with you and loves you, because it's going to give you a power collectively to move higher. So, like, same way, that's why I'm honored to be here, honored to be able to call you friend. I got to ask you, what do you need help with the most? And don't tell me nothing, because the helpers always say no.
And you got access on camera too.
Have to. Give me the real answer. Where's your wife at? Queen, what does he need help with? Don't edit this out either.
Look.
Real quick, books to read, right? Because they're going to ask what books to read. Money Master the Game, the best book on investing in a long time. Anything by Ray Dalio. He just retired. Pick up both of those books. Best stocks to invest in. Apple, Microsoft, Google. Google is the biggest advertising platform of all time. VOO and VTI are great if you're going to do crypto. Bitcoin, Ethereum, which JP Morgan owns the majority of. And then pick a dark horse. I like Ripple, but pick your third. Invest every month. Hold for 30 years. You must hold for a generation if you truly want generational wealth. That's all you need to do on investing. What you need help with?
I love it. I couldn't tell you, man. I think one of the things that
give me the real answer. We're gonna have dead air too.
Yeah, I think.
Don't edit this out.
Look, I think one of the biggest things that I've had problems with has been, like you said, I got to talk my ish more, and so.
Why don't you? What fear? Now let me get in my Oprah bag.
Yeah.
What fear is causing you not to?
I feel like, and this is weird, right? But I've never lost, but I'm afraid of losing. Never lost. Like if you look at my pedigree, you look at everything I've done. I'm talking about from banking to media to when I say I've been here a decade, though, I've been here a decade.
Working,
I'm talking about like I was on BET in 2011 when I wore suit and ties. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in magazines where magazines matter, like Black Enterprise, and I did that already. And
not the online version.
Not the online version. I'm talking about actual magazines. Like, I got magazines in my house in plastic bags to show like I've been here for a long time. And
but if you talk your ish more and show that, it's not gonna make the people who love you walk away from you.
Yeah, but you know what I think though? I think that because I'm very competitive. I mean, maybe that's the answer, right?
In what way?
Like, I'm very competitive. Like, I don't like to lose. I don't lose, but I don't like to lose.
So you're holding yourself back and not operating in spaces in which you could. But you heralding yourself is actually a victory.
But you know what it is though too? I feel like I don't want the animal to come out. Right?
Why?
So because I feel like that's like you remember there was a clip of Tyson, right? Mike Tyson was like, yo, I feel like a bitch. He's like, I feel like a bitch. He like and he was saying that like he know he's an animal, but that animal is dangerous. And so he doesn't want to let that animal out. So there's certain things that he let go because he feel like if he let that animal out, it's nasty.
But would it benefit the people? And I always say this, 2 parts.
Yeah.
I don't want to look my son in the face and tell him I could have did more if he does not feel I'm doing my all.
Yo, where we get this guy from, man?
right?
Sheesh.
East Chicago, Indiana. That's where I'm from. Shout out to 219.
Yeah.
And secondly, if you choose not to talk your ish and do more, are you not currently losing and acting like it's a victory? Because we go through the same thing. I've had this conversation. So me, you, Matt, ish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We go through the same battle. Do we upset current powers that be?
Yeah.
Because like I was never the CEO in the damn union.
Yeah.
Credit union.
Yeah.
That's a different set of skills that you need, and you just can't get that off Wikipedia or YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But I think we can be an animal, quote unquote, or be the best version of ourselves, and without it leading to violence.
Yeah.
I think some of the fears that we have is if I am operating at #1 peak performance, who will I lose that doesn't want me to win?
Yeah.
Because there's people around.
No, that's true. Yeah.
They're happy if you're 4th or 5th, but then you have a chance to become #1, it becomes an issue.
Yeah. 100%.
So, because I care for you, and then of course the public accountability, and you can do it with me, you have to do more.
Yeah.
Because you and Bonawyn were some of the only few people prior to even Instagram taking off who was actually doing their thing.
Yeah.
So why would you play less than if you're better?
Yeah.
Doesn't serve you, doesn't serve the people, doesn't serve your family.
Yeah.
The kids deserve that, wife deserves that, but more importantly, you do.
Yeah.
But these are the hard conversations I have with my, like, for the first year I didn't come out and do any interviews during COVID. I didn't want to get sick, and then I started coming out and I did. Thank you, DC Young Flying Safari.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, if the suckers are out spending their girlfriend money acting like they actually investing, if I don't pop up at the damn club, and this is a real test to know how if you're being scammed. #1, go ask them to make you money for free and without giving them anything in exchange, not even a testimonial. #2, go ask their wife and baby mama how their life looking.
Yeah.
You want to know if somebody doing good? Go ask their wife.
Yeah.
The one, kudos to your queen. I see her here. That tells me enough. A lot of times the wives don't be around.
Yeah.
Why? Because that shit ain't hitting like how y'all be saying.
Right.
No ego.
Yeah.
Right. All the women lie, but it's true. If your man not doing what he's supposed to do, you're not going to be around to say, yeah, Lil Ray say he doing good and I believe in him.
Yeah.
That's why when Derrick Jackson was sitting in the car all them years, and this is what women should do, that wife wasn't around till he cheated.
Right. Yeah.
But I want to see you do more.
Yeah. I think it's time though. I think that
you still ain't answer what you need help with. I'm not leaving till I get that answer.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think.
Wife, what do you need help with?
So welcome back to Dr. Dunlap. No,
Auntie Oprah called me.
right. Yeah. So we got the queen in the building. Yes. I honestly don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah.
So maybe
the helpers always need help. What does he need help with the most?
And this is going to be shocking to people. I feel like the one thing that he actually needs the most help with is communication.
Ooh.
Well, okay.
Right?
Ooh, I was
because I was listening to what you were saying about him being more
say assertive.
Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Being more assertive and standing in who he truly is. He really does hold back. Throughout this journey, we've been on this journey for, I want to say, 13 years, right? Taylor's 14. We've been on this journey for 13 years. And every step along the way, I found that I needed to remind him of who he is. Even today, I still have to remind him, you know you've been in this game for a long time. Yeah. He says it, but a lot of times he doesn't walk in it. And that's the God's honest truth.
How do you think it would change not only his life, but the life of the family if he did step into that greatness and proclaim it more often?
If he fully stepped into it, because he walks in it, but he's just not fully planted in it, right? So if he did that, that's a good question, because we live a phenomenal life. It would change because,
And I think that's potentially what it is, though, right? Because have and do I've manifested. My life is excellent, right? And so here's this, right?
Are there some things you haven't manifested yet? Because you are.
I think everything I haven't manifested isn't mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've manifested everything for me. The things that I'm wanting to manifest are for other people, right? And part of that, right? Or and I feel like part of why, you know, I look at my life and I look at how great it is, and so just like everybody else who settles, they're comfortable, and even though my comfort is greatness, right? My comfort is, you know, money good, house big, you know what I'm saying? Everybody healthy, kids private school, vacation whenever we want, like that type of stuff. I'm impacting lives. I guess the fear for me is potentially walking in my greatness at the level that I should be, and not knowing what that entails. Because I've seen people, right? If I could be honest, the people who walk in their greatness get their heads chopped off, right? And that's where I'm from. I'm talking about the good. You know what I'm saying? The good people. I'm talking about the people who put their chest out and put their life on the line. They get their head chopped off. So as a provider for my family, I say, y'all want to provide for I don't, you know, no disrespect. I don't want to be Malcolm X. I don't want to be Martin Luther King. Right? My family good. My kids good. So let me be comfortable being number two.
And I'm glad you said that, because I want to speak to that. It's like that's another thing that we've always talked about, is him really letting go of that narrative. Right? So anything that, for lack of a better term, that I believe or he may believe is holding him back, I truly do believe it's because he still holds on to the narrative that he just expressed. We've moved beyond that. We're no longer in the hood. We both come from the same place. I'm from Brooklyn. I come from Bed-Stuy. My family's. I was raised by gangsters. You grew up with gangsters. I was raised by them. My father's in jail today. We don't live that life no more. So it's just time to understand that's the community that you serve, but
and there's trauma there associated with it too.
It is, but the truth of the matter is that's not who we are, and you don't owe nobody nothing. You don't owe anyone anything. You're not in arrears in that way. And people are gonna probably misunderstand that. You don't owe the community so much so that you're willing to hold yourself back. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because I think, and I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you. But when you're on your deathbed, I don't want you to have, as a man, you know, regret is the biggest thing 100%. That we'll suffer from. Will you look back and be like, damn, I could have did more, and maybe even been happier if I wasn't, you said comfortable being number two. You shouldn't be number two to anybody, 100%. Including me, Trap, anybody around. That's why, like, when you see me embrace you, embrace Trap, I tell 19 every time, go on stage and kill. We was at Roots Picnic. Go on stage and kill everybody, including me. If I see you hold back, I'm not fucking with you. He like, you mean that? I'm like, what you think? Cheese grabbed the mic and dominated. Right? So as a person that loves you, I have to tell you, I want to see you do more. And I understand the fear, because even in corporate that exists. But your personality is better than mine. You know how to be revolutionary in a sense without offending the powers that be that will put you in trouble. So it's a skill set I don't have yet. I want to see you do more. I don't want them to limit you to this show or how to create books. With your track record, I want you to be more vocal. If that's okay.
My brother, I love you, man.
Love you too.
I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you too. And thank you, Queen.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you too.
I love you too.
No, but that's dope, because honestly, and fellas, I'll say this, and it's something I struggle with. A lot of times we don't want to hear the real answer. Because we know if we come to Our Lady, we may have one idea, and they may be like, no, it's this that you have to work on. But I'll tell you the same as I tell everyone, you're worthy of it, and you definitely deserve it.
All right, y'all, another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash.
He got uncomfortable, want to wrap it up now. We had a little Dr. Phil moment. Oh, now I get cut off? This is what we doing? Shout out to Ash Cash, everybody in Red Panda.
Yes.
Go to joinredpanda.com. Check out Market Mondays every Monday at 7 p.m. Central. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. Invest for the long term. You deserve to be wealthy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be free. And choose to be number one in your space. Don't let anyone hold you back. It's only people that don't love you. If they do, even me, I want to see y'all come in, be investors, and beat me and kick my ass. Love y'all.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We're closing out the vault. Another powerful episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet.
Absolutely.
Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Inside the Vault Show. Make sure you go to InsideTheVaultShow.com. Me, I am Ash Cash. Make sure you visit me, IamAshCash.com. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at I am Ash Cash. I'll see you next time.
Real quick, what are you the best in the world at?
Hey, yo, I'm the best money mindset coach in the world. So,
And what result will they get from listening to you?
they're going to change their mindset and understand that abundance is their birthright. So any
Give me a quantifiable number.
So everyday people, everybody should become a millionaire. And so if they believe in themselves, they will make millions of dollars.
And you had a blueprint for them?
100%.
See?
There we go.
The animal came out.
100%. That blueprint. Take you from the bottom. Look, I'm from the projects, roaches, and rats. And when I say that, that's for real.
Yeah.
My wife would tell you, we lived in the project.
What projects you grew up in?
St. Nicholas Projects. Yo, my wife used to come see me. I lived on the first floor. Let me paint a quick picture. I lived on the first floor.
Can y'all cut this in too? I don't want to tell the editors what to do.
I lived on the first floor, and so my projects is 15 acres, right? And there's an incinerator that sanitation only took once a week. So every single day when the garbage man came throughout all 14 buildings, they dropped all of the garbage and it stayed there for a week, right? Wow. My window was right in back of that incinerator, to the point where when my wife used to come see me, when come to my house and hang out, I had to turn the radio on. We had Hot 97 on at all times. Why? Because you could hear the rats and roaches, not the roaches, but you could hear the rats like eating up paper and all that stuff. So when I say I come from the bottom and to be a multi-millionaire, like I'll show you the blueprint. We closing out the vault. No more Ian Dunlap. We closing out the vault, y'all. Tap in, tell a friend, I'll see y'all next time inside the vault, y'all.